Our boys were asleep, but for some reason, my eyes were locked on that pink house. I felt scared, but I eventually decided to go to sleep. A while later, I had the worst sleep paralysis of my life. In a car.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, at a gas station.
At night. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome to Sincerely Supernatural, the show where we talk about the strange, mysterious, and unexplained. I am your host, Hudson.
And I'm the other guy, Seth. What do we got today?
We got some more stories today.
I was out for a walk at like 1 a.m. last night. Just clearing my head.
Okay.
And, looking at the stars and everything. Just get some quiet time. I was up by the mailbox. I had put some mail in there. The flag was up. And I'm staring up at the stars, and I hear this squeak. And then something like shut, like a little metal door. I look over at the mailbox. The flag is down. So I go over there, and I open the door. And there's these stories in there.
Who put them there?
And I made all that up.
Did you just invent a new cryptid?
Haunted mail.
Urgent Lebend?
It's an urgent Lebend.
An urban legend.
Yes.
Creepypasta.
Yep.
We need to title this YouTube video, do not check your mailbox at 3 a.m. on a full moon.
Right. It was a full moon. Oh, my word.
If you see your mailbox flag up at 3 a.m., here are the rules.
Here's three things you shouldn't do. Yeah. Number one, don't run. No, we got good stories.
I'm just making fun of the creepypasta.
Yeah. The titles.
Yeah. I like creepypastas, don't like,
right. But you don't like stupid titles.
It's just, they're all the same.
Let's be original, folks.
Okay.
This is good, though.
We have some viewer stories.
Yep.
So thank you, guys. Keep sending them.
Yeah, I love this part.
This is really fun.
Do you want to kick it off? Or do you want me to go first?
Well, you have one more story than me, so
okay.
You could go, and then we alternate.
Okay.
From there.
I'll go first then. Okay. This is from Blake from Washington. Battleground, Washington. Never been there. And after I read this story, I don't know if I ever want to go there.
You don't want, yeah.
This is called The Mimic.
Ugh. That's, okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hi, my name is Blake. I am 16 and I believe that there is stuff out there that we don't know. I agree with you, Blake. There's stuff out there that we don't know.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
I live in Battleground, Washington, just north of Portland. It is a very rural town, and I go to this school called Casey. It's spelled C-A-S-E-E. So I'm assuming it stands for something that I didn't look up, but I'm going to put it on the screen.
Okay.
It's a school where you learn about wildlife and nature. They have 80 acres, and there are 2 small forests. We call them the West and East Forests, and the forests have an open field in between them. It's public land and has trails through the forest, so people are walking in there all the time. In April, my sister had a friend who lives in Arizona fly over to see us. He had never been to Washington, so we took him to Casey because it's like all of Washington in 80 acres.
Okay.
It was 6 p.m. We showed him the East Forest, which is full of deciduous and evergreens. It's not very dense, so you could see like 20 feet into the trees. Then we headed toward the west forest. So we were walking and I had to go to the bathroom. So I went into the woods, and when I was done, I had the idea to scare them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept off the trail and I sneaked through the brush. The west forest is more dense than the east forest. You can't even see 5 feet in front of you. And I knew that they couldn't see me. I'm at the edge of a clearing where I can see my sister walking on the trail in front of me. And I thought it was weird because why would she abandon her friend when he doesn't know how to get out of the forest? I stepped out and there was a corner just down the trail. While I was wondering why she left her friend, she had walked away. So I texted her and I asked her why she left him. And she texted me back, "I didn't. He's right next to me." I said, "No, I just saw you walking by yourself in the west forest." She said, "We're in the Arboretum." That's the field between the forests.
Mm-hmm.
I ran back to the Jeep and we booked it out of there. If you're ever in Portland, stop by Casey and Battleground. They're nice places. Are they, Blake?
Oh my gosh.
Are they nice places?
They're nice, except for the monster that looks like people you know.
The Mimic.
That is crazy.
Have you heard stories about the Mimic before?
I don't know if I've heard any like real stories.
I've heard a couple.
Yeah.
And I think they freak me out a little bit more than any other kind of ghost story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like someone calling your name with like your mom's voice, but your mom's
I've
not
heard of
home.
that. Yeah. That is like,
No, sir.
No.
Something, it's like they're drawing you in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about once like the Wendigo or the Wendigo or whatever
Mm-hmm.
will use someone's voice to draw you into the forest so they can eat you.
I feel like I watched like a horror movie or saw something recently where it was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear someone like calls your voice, but then they're like not there.
And it's a little bit off. Like,
yeah.
I don't like it.
Don't like it.
But thanks, Blake. That was terrifying.
Good. Yeah.
It makes me wonder, was that like a ghost or was it a Wendigo?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Washington may be the western capital of Bigfoot sightings.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have more than Oregon. But weird stuff goes on
was
there.
It trying to get it to get him to follow it?
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like, oh, that's my sister.
That's my sister. I'm going to go follow her.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Don't do it. Run away.
No. Okay.
What do you got?
First story
Mm-hmm.
is from Ben from Torbay, England.
This is our first foreign submitted story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the whole thing in an English accent.
Are you doing it?
No. I won't.
We won't insult you, Ben.
We'll just disrespect your culture. So not on purpose. We like British people.
We do.
We are of
Western European
UK descent.
Yeah.
More Scottish, but.
Does that give us license? Is that cultural appropriation?
I don't know.
No, because that's where we're from.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Okay. So it was 2025, and I started hearing this weird lady, but I thought it was a new neighbor. So the first night, I ignored it, but then it did it again. I looked through my window to see if it was someone new, but she was gone. No lady, and the sound stopped. I thought it was strange, so I was confused and scared at the same time. The next night, around 9 p.m., it happened again, but this time it was different. I saw the lady, but she wasn't singing, just staring at me. I was scared, so I went to bed horrified. It happened over and over again until one night I went out of my bedroom to go to the bathroom, but I saw her in the middle of the hallway.
Nope.
I was horrified to see her in my house staring at me. A few days later, I'm out with my friend and we hear something moving in the bushes, but we're not moving. And then I hear someone whisper to me, and that's when we ran, and my friend followed me. I told him everything, but he didn't believe me. That's the last time I heard the ghost lady.
What the heck?
That was pretty creepy.
That's good, Ben. So what I gather is he's hearing a lady outside singing.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking out the window.
Mm-hmm. And then he sees her.
And then it escalates like I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets up in the middle of the night. She's in the hallway.
Yeah.
There would have been like a Seth-shaped hole in the wall where I ran through.
That was pretty crazy.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
But
Man.
why didn't she come back after the outside incident?
I don't know. I think England is just haunted in general.
Yes. All of England is haunted.
It's so old.
I'm sorry, my UK friends.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so old. Like when we were we live in like the Western United States. So the last part of America basically to be settled.
Yeah.
And the oldest buildings we have here are like 150
maybe. Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
And when we were in Scotland, I remember we were in this town, West Kilbride, and I can't remember. I think it was like the library.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at this stone that they had in the foundation. And it was from like 1400 or something ridiculous. And I'm like, this is flipping old.
Yeah.
So they got to have some history with some spooky stuff.
Yeah.
there.
We stayed in like a castle.
Yeah.
Basically for like a month. And I can't remember how old it was, but it was
several hundred years old.
Which is crazy.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love it over there. All that history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's transition back to the United States.
Okay.
Florida, to be specific, where Millie gives us her first story.
Okay.
All right. It all started when my husband and I were planning a 2-week vacation to the Western United States. Hey, that's us.
That's where we live.
We live in Florida, and this was during the second year of the pandemic, 2022.
Okay.
We left Florida with our 2 boys, who were 12 and 11 years old. We tried not to stop unless we needed gas or a bathroom break. Man, that's a long drive.
Yeah.
Around midnight, we were driving through Louisiana. My husband was exhausted and decided to stop at a small, creepy-looking gas station. Behind it was an old pink house. Our boys were asleep, but for some reason, my eyes were locked on that pink house. I felt scared, but I eventually decided to go to sleep. A while later, I had the worst sleep paralysis of my life. In a car.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, at a gas station.
At night.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's what happened. A black shadow, a demonic-looking figure, was standing beside me near the passenger door, pulling me toward it. I tried to scream. I cried. I couldn't wake up. I tried to pray, but I couldn't even get the words out. Then suddenly, that thing transported me to the front door of my house. It was trying to get inside. I pushed against the door with everything I had while desperately trying to wake up. I kept praying harder and harder. Finally, I woke up crying. My face was covered in tears. I shook my husband awake and said, "We need to get the bleep out of here now, or I can drive." I told him everything that had happened. He looked at me and said, "Don't worry, I'll drive, you just relax." To this day, I don't ever want to stop in Louisiana again.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one, Millie.
There was something ancient living in that house or something.
Well, Louisiana is like, there's a lot of voodoo and stuff down there, isn't there?
Is that where the Princess and the Frog took place?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a voodoo guy in that movie.
Is there? Voodoo Mama Juju?
Played by Keith David, the Arbiter.
From the
Halo.
Rolling Stones?
Just kidding. You know who Keith David
Yeah,
is,
I
right?
do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but like New Orleans and stuff is really crazy because of the water table. They can't bury people underground.
Really?
So there's like all those little mausoleums above ground where people are buried.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a very, Louisiana,
Okay.
specifically New Orleans, is a very supernatural, weird
weird
interesting
place. That was a crazy story.
Yeah.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone I've never heard of anybody getting sleep paralysis while in their car sleeping.
Yeah. Because it's like just sleeping in your car and then like in general, it kind of in the middle of nowhere sounds creepy. But getting sleep paralysis is already scary on its own, but those two combined is no.
And I can never really sleep deeply in a car.
Yeah.
You know? It's always like you're kind of half awake.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was some kind of connection with that pink house.
Pink house.
All right.
That was a good story. Okay.
What do you got?
This is Leo from Missouri.
Ooh, this is a good one.
All right.
You're going to like it.
Okay. So, I used to live close to my grandma, and I would spend the night at her house. My grandma would do chores, usually feeding the rabbits and collecting eggs before she left for her job as a mail carrier. When I was 9 or 10, I wanted to help her collect eggs since I couldn't go into the rabbit house. So, I gathered a flashlight. The morning sun was still rising, and I was on a mission. I stepped outside and began walking down the road where she was. As I walked, I heard running. I turned around and saw a fully white figure covering its face with its arms, like it was blocking the flashlight's beam. It then ran off. I was screaming so loud, that was probably why it ran. I ran back inside my grandmother's house and waited until she came back. No one ever believed me. They thought I was just imagining it. But I remember the look of it, the horns and everything. It still scares me. I was told that I could see ghosts when I was a child. I saw a man who was killed on a military ship. I've never told anyone due to it scaring my dad, but I hope I never relive that.
He saw the Goatman.
That is crazy.
The Goatman, Hudson.
How do you know that's the Goatman?
That's what he called it in his first email.
Got it.
He said it had the horns.
I want to read that. I turned around and saw a fully white figure covering its face with its arms. That's terrifying. And it looked like a goat man. Oh my gosh.
I looked it up, and the Goatman is kind of like a southern type thing. I think it was first seen in Texas and stuff. And the legend is he tries to lure you places. But also a Goatman is just like a satyr or a faun, right?
He doesn't like the light.
From
apparently.
the Greek mythology.
There's probably a whole bunch of different. You got Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus, that's what I'm saying.
He's a good one, though.
Well, he didn't start out being a good one.
That's true.
Trick and Lucy.
I haven't seen that movie or read that book in a long time. I don't think I've ever read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You have to have.
I've read The Magician's Nephew.
Favorite one?
I didn't know that was a prequel. So it was written after Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe?
I think so.
And I don't know if I've ever gotten through.
I really, really like Magician's Nephew, and I think it would make a really good movie.
It would.
I can't believe they haven't done it.
Yeah. I think I've read A Horse and His Boy.
Yeah, I read that one too.
That one's cool because it takes place in Narnia when the kids are like the rulers, right? We're getting off track, but
there's satyrs and fawns and Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah.
It just makes me think, if people have seen Goatman, what if these mythological beings from the old days weren't mythological?
Yeah.
What if they were actually doing those
like
experiments?
The Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's like it was nonfiction.
Like a minotaur, all that type of stuff. Yeah, that was spooky. Spooky.
That's crazy.
Who sent that in?
That was from Leo from Missouri.
From Missouri. Thanks for sending
you,
that in.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to hear Millie's second story?
Yes.
I have it right here.
Is this our last one?
This is our last story.
Okay.
This is PG-13.
Okay.
So if you don't want your kids to hear PG-13 stuff yet, maybe send them to watch cartoons. Hello, guys. Here's my second story. I had to write it in Spanish and translate it into English. I am not that good at writing English, LOL. But here it is. I'm not good at writing Spanish. I can't write anything
there you go.
Spanish. Nope. Uno. I can write that. Uno means one. Okay. Here it is. This happened in Callao, Peru.
Oh.
Callao, Peru. That's where she's from originally.
Oh, okay.
I went to my country to do some dental work. It was way too cheap there. Everybody does this.
Everybody does that.
Medical's so expensive in the United States.
You go to Turkey and you get a hair transplant.
How do you think I got this? I got a Turkish hair implant, and I've never had thicker hair. Anyway, it was too cheap, so she went and got her dental work down there. The same week I was there, but 2 days after my incident, the neighbor from the third floor of the other side of the building told my brother-in-law about something that terrified her. She said that when she came home from work around 1:20 or 1:30 a.m., she repeatedly saw a very tall, naked man standing against my sister's front door. Now, this is the front door of her sister's apartment, where she's staying.
Yeah.
And this lady is telling them that some tall, naked man stands up against their door at night. So she repeatedly sees him doing this. My sister's door is made entirely of tempered glass with a metal frame.
Oh my gosh.
And the woman claimed the man would press his entire body against the glass as if trying to frighten whoever was inside. This happened several nights in a row before she finally told her husband. Her husband then asked my brother-in-law if his son, my nephew, had been walking around naked and behaving that way. My brother-in-law was understandably furious. My nephew is only 14 or 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Very shy, and there's no chance he would do something like that. Mm-hmm. He told them to stop accusing his son based on something they thought they had seen, and suggested that if it happened again, they should record it. Makes sense. The woman insisted she knew what she had seen and believed it was a real person. 4 days later, her husband showed my brother-in-law a video from their front door security camera. The footage didn't show a naked man, but it was unsettling. The curtains moved as if the windows were opened, even though everything was closed. The streetlight outside flickered repeatedly, and then what appeared to be a dark shadow passed by the front door, but from inside the apartment. To this day, none of us knows what to make of it, but my brother-in-law said to me and my sister that he was petrified. Both of them could not understand what they were watching. I couldn't sleep alone, so I slept with my sister and my brother-in-law in my parents' room. Never in my life was I scared like that night, and I was born and raised in that apartment.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Millie.
How tall are we talking?
I don't know.
Like 6'5" or like 9 feet tall?
I don't know, but it's the repeatability that spooks me the most, I think. Like, this lady obviously works really late. She gets off work, gets home around 1:30 a.m., and she repeatedly sees a naked guy up against their door, like he's trying to scare someone inside.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that scares me is the dark shadow that passes inside. That's where they're staying.
Don't like that.
So what the heck? And light flickering. You know how a lot of paranormal stuff is like, it'll drain your battery immediately.
Yeah.
It seems like it has like some sort of electromagnetic quality to it or something. At any rate, that was a great story.
That was a great story.
Thanks for sending it in.
That was the last one.
That was.
Thank you to everybody who sent in stories.
How could more people send it in?
Well, they could go to sincerelysupernatural@gmail.com, all lowercase, all one word, and send them in there.
There we go. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a shorter episode today. It was
shorter.
But I love reading the stories.
I do too. It's always very fun to hear, not just It's not just something we found online. It's like these are people who watch us, and it's fun to have that connection when reading the story. So,
and they actually experience these things.
Yeah.
Well, say I'm in my apartment.
Okay.
And I see a dark figure pass in front of my door. You know what I do?
Pray.
Yeah, and then guess what?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
Who's that?
Not John Wick.
It's Chinese John Wick.
Chinese John Wick.
What is that guy's name?
I don't know.
We have to say it on here.
I'll find it, and then
we'll put it on the screen.
Or maybe we can play the clip.
Yeah.
For reference, if you guys have seen the popular movie franchise John Wick.
Yes.
Starring Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. That's one of his iconic lines. And there's this very talented Chinese gentleman who's a streamer.
He's like a TikToker or something,
he looks like John Wick. I don't know if it's a face filter, but he's got the suit, he's got the guns, and he goes, yeah,
all the time. And he doesn't know like English.
Yeah, so he'll just be like
take English phrases
and then go, yeah.
He's like, he acts great like Keanu.
We're not making fun of him. He's talented.
But the funny thing is he's doing all these John Wick moves and stuff, and he'll say like, Lisa Carr. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
we'll put his name up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.